Anybody else unavailable this weekend? And of course, John Egan.
Yeah, John Egan's not available. Obviously, Adam through his suspension, and Leeds Mousset. So everybody else, yeah, they're available.
In terms of John Egan's red card earlier in the week, did you think about appealing it?
I think I spoke about an occasion when I was at Oxford, and I had in the room individually regarding an incident where I thought we should appeal it. So I thought we should appeal it. Andy Melville played for his country and played about 500 games in the Premier League. Thought we should appeal it. Mickey Lewis, who's the assistant manager, played about 700 games in the Championship. Thought we should appeal it. And then, as this was resonate with Sheffield United fans of the past, Alan Hodgkinson, who worked with me at Oxford United, who was absolute, played for England, played for over 600-700 league games for Sheffield United, worked at Manchester United with Sir Alex Ferguson. He said we should appeal it. We appealed it and it got turned down. So from then on, really, my thought process in appealing decisions has been very, very minimal. So no, I won't, because it won't get turned over. And even though I still believe, that it was the decision was the wrong one.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, now that the dust settled and you've had a bit of time, do you think any differently on either of the two incidents that?
No, I don't. No, I have to make quick decisions on it when I'm talking to the press, because I see what I see from my own eyes, and I'm not going to spin anything. And I said it all along. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, we quickly moved on in terms of work that we have to do at a football club to go and control what we control, which is obviously our team selection, the work that we do on the training ground, and our performance against a very, very talented Leeds United side. So, I can't waste any more energy on that. I said after the game what I said for a while, yet again, openly and honestly, what I thought about the decisions, and I've not changed my mind after that, and not once I've thought about that anyway. And as I said, my sole aim and focus is getting our first points on the board on Sunday afternoon.
Obviously, with John missing, it gives an opportunity for somebody else. Is that somebody Ethan Ampadu this weekend after his performance at Villa?
Well, Ethan comes into the picture. Phil Jagielka comes into the picture. So there's all sorts. A change of shape might come into the picture. So of course, when somebody misses, it opens it up for somebody else. That's an obvious situation. And I thought Ethan, he's gonna play a big part in our season, and Phil Jagielka is his natural position. So yeah, there's some decisions to be made, as there always is, because when I've said all along, obviously the performance levels against Wolverhampton Wanderers were okay. The performance level, obviously, against Villa, for 80 minutes is a difficult one to judge. I can't sit there really, talk about playing, 3 centre halves, a sitting midfield player, 2 midfield players, and a 10 and a 9 when we go down to 10 men after 12 minutes. So the whole complex of the game changes, but the attitude of the team is good as expected. The discipline of the team was good in terms of the shape. They never broke us down once. Aaron has not had a save to make, really. But there's certain things that you get punished with in the Premier League that we need to tighten up on. As we talked about afterwards, we can't concede a goal from set play, where basically that's a level game at that time. It's not an overload, or it's not a man advantage, and we should have dealt with that. So there's certain bits and pieces that we need to tighten up on. But definitely, as I said, when John's out, it opens it up, and as I said, there's some decisions to be made.
You picked Sander Berger at the base of the midfield on Monday night. Why did you feel it was time for Sander to operate that role?
Because I felt it was time.
Okay. In terms of your striker search, do you now feel that it's going to go down potentially to the end of this current transfer window?
Yeah, it potentially will. Working so hard to get that over the line, and I think we all understand it's not an easy situation. But we need to get somebody in said all along for a long time, position specifics where we need to get in, which we have done with the players that we've brought in. So obviously that's the one area that we need to fill, and we need to get it right. And as you can imagine, and I've said for a long time, we're not like any other club or majority of clubs in this division, in terms of we pick a phone up, we make that call, and we sign it off. It's just not the same. So I understand that, and we get on with it.
So is the ball sort of currently in other clubs' court at the moment?
Yeah, well, yeah, I would say so, and we have a decision as a football club as well above me. So there's always, as I keep saying, three main players in signing a player. The player, does he want to come to us? The selling club, do they want to let him go, and at what price? And the buying club, do they want him, and what price they're prepared to go up to? So there's on every player, all those three things have got to come in to make it happen. And we've identified players. So really there's other things that have got to happen now from a negotiation point of view to get the player in. My job is to identify, and hopefully off the back of that we can do business.
You mentioned a lot of clubs in the Premier League continuing to spend money. Should those clubs in the current climate be operating a bit more like the Blades? And is this an opportunity for the game to sort of bring down wages and fees potentially?
Every club has their own decision to make. The Premier League has a decision to make as an organisation, and in individual Premier League clubs will do what they need to do, and every club would do that in their own situation. Whether it's the right or wrong thing is up to them. That's the world that we live in, and that's what football has always been like, and possibly will always be like. It is a difficult period for clubs outside the Premier League. If anything can be done by the Premier League, and they make a decision collectively, because the Premier League is made up of the 20 clubs, and really it's the 20 clubs that run the Premier League. So it's a decision that they have to make as an organisation, really, the administration part of it, and the members. So if they make that decision to help, then we would. But I think you obviously know my feelings on it in terms of the history that I have outside of the Premier League. There's it's certainly, especially in the area that we live in, extremely proud of all the clubs that are strong and keep the area going, and obviously what football plays in this part of the world is huge. And we're not a one club city, and we're not a 2 or 3 club area. Football's a huge part of life in South Yorkshire, and it has to be protected, in my opinion.
26 years since you met Leeds in the top flight. It's about time that you locked horns again at the top level. Yeah,
it's always interesting to play Leeds United. Obviously, as I've said before, history between the clubs. They're a huge football club, and obviously always looking from my club, and having my opinion on what Sheffield United are about. But Leeds United, you can't get away from the fact that they're a huge club in English football, and what they've achieved in the past, and it's a great it's great for them, I should imagine, to be back in the Premier League. They'll no doubt believe that they should be there and at the top end, and imagine the majority of of intelligent football people would echo their thoughts, but it sometimes doesn't work that way. And they've been out of the division, as I said, for a long time, through reasons, as we were out of the Championship and in League One, for certain reasons. And it's about how you adjust to that and deal with that and get yourself back moving forward. And certainly they're on the forward, they're on the front foot, and they've got momentum. And it would be, as I said, it's going to be an interesting game on Sunday, and obviously disappointing that there's not a full house to witness it. But it's certainly Leeds United back in the Premier League is news, and it should be rightly so.
14 goals in Leeds' 2 games in the Premier League so far. Are you expecting a high-scoring game this Sunday?
I'm expecting a competitive game. I'm expecting a game that'll be interesting tactically. Some good technical players on show. A lot of energy in both teams, in distances covered and how they play. And I think we've talked about it. 2 teams that I don't think are going to change. Well, I'm not changing, and certainly I don't think that Leeds United will change their approach. We haven't changed our approach into the Premier League, and we won't do, and Leeds won't. So both teams that are going for a win. So it sets it up for that type of game. And off the back of them scoring, they concede, and we'd like to obviously change our record around, because it's something that we're disappointed with at this particular moment. But I certainly don't think they were a million miles away. Playing 10 men for 80 minutes is a huge disadvantage to us. And a couple of bits that have gone against us, and things that we can control, we have to be better with, and we have to tighten up to give ourselves an opportunity of gaining points, and we're going to have to certainly show all those qualities on Sunday to do that.